Divine greetings, everyone, and welcome to a new episode of Collective Consciousness. My name is Tiny. I'm your host. I'm so happy to welcome you to the show where we focus on expanding your consciousness. This show is specifically designed for individuals who are on their personal road to self-mastery. So if that is an individual like yourself, go ahead and take 1 second and smash that like button down below, smash the subscribe button for future episodes, and welcome to the family. What we are talking about today is Black History Month. But what about our future though? Let's talk about where we are headed as a culture and what are some things that we can do to continue to create Black history. I would like to first address the fact that I absolutely 100% support the idea of learning and recognizing those prominent figures in Black history. But I also want to bring to light or bring to awareness that we don't want to tread that line of like being stuck in history without making a conscious effort for our future. What are we doing as a culture today that is going to affect Black history tomorrow? It's going to be a very conversational episode today. We're not going to bring out all the crazy slides and graphics this episode, but I really want to challenge you and ask you questions, to look inside yourself, to look amongst each other, and to come with this common and solid solution to the stagnation of our Black history. Okay, so let's kind of like go back. When we talk about Black history, it's like, you know, the guy who created peanut butter or the stoplight or, you know, things like that. But I want to take a moment and address kind of how, and this may be controversial, but this is my show, okay? So we're going to do what it do here. We're going to talk about these things. You know, what happened? What is going on within our communities, within our culture that makes us so dysfunctional? And in my opinion, there's a couple of different things. First thing being, we are not unified, okay? With unity, and you know, part of Collective Consciousness' mission is to coach and preach on interdependence. You know, this country, being the United States, has broken up Black families ever since the 80s when they incited the affirmative action laws. That created a situation for businesses to specifically require a percentage of multicultural or melanated individuals. Okay, so they called us colored at the time. So what would happen was, once they hit their quota, then everyone else who may have been of color was not able to work for that position or work in that job. So a lot of Black men lost their jobs. A lot of Black men, Black women lost their jobs during this whole affirmative action thing that happened in the 80s. Simultaneously, in the government, they entered in, you know, governmental assistance for lower income families. Those lower income families were specifically geared and designated for the Black culture. Okay, so what they did, they decreased the availability for jobs for the Black men. They increased governmental assistance. They put drugs on the street. Okay, so we're talking about the 80s. So we're talking about the crack epidemic here. Okay, so they put drugs on the street. And they have it was engineered for the Black man to have to resort to that type of, how do we say, that type of profession in order to provide for their family, right? So now we have these Black fathers on the street selling crack to provide for their families, their mothers, their wives, their children, okay? Then they're locking these Black men up. They're empowering the Black woman with governmental assistance. Now the Black woman looks at the Black man as if she doesn't need him. I could do bad all by myself. I could take care of these kids, my husband's in jail, this and that, right? So now they're working on the psyche of our entire culture. Okay, so when you think about this, you have the black man in jail, the woman empowered by the government. These children are growing up in these toxic environments, and they have toxic images of toxic masculinity and femininity and what a man and what a woman is supposed to do, because they have very unbalanced households. So how did the system, in 2020, we talked a lot about, systemic racism. So let's talk about it. How did the system break apart these families? And that's exactly how they did it, right? So now that we are aware that this was the agenda, we have the choice on what to do next. And during 2020, there was a lot of protests going on for Black Lives Matter. Okay, well, what are you doing? What are you doing? How do you contribute? Okay, and I don't want to use the word Black lives too much in this video. I would prefer melanated, or I would prefer the word melanated, because it doesn't have to just be a Black person. It doesn't have to be African American, which that doesn't even resonate with me. I'm Haitian, and I claim that 100%. I'm Haitian American, and that's what I claim. So if someone was to call me African American, I would correct them really quickly, because I know my culture. I'm in tune with my ancestors and my lineage. You know what I mean? So don't call me African American. So I don't even want to do that either. And I don't want to call you Black either. I want to say melanated, because this is all inclusive to other carbon-based beings, other beings that have that melanin within them. And we are considered the minority. We are looked down upon, but I want you to understand that there is power in your melanin. It's literally like liquid gold. If you look it up right now, here you can see for 1 gram of gold, it is $57.47. Melanin is worth 8 times more than gold. 1 gram is worth $460 today. You are valuable. They don't tell you this, right? They want us to devalue ourselves. They want us to be separated, and they want to divide and conquer over us, right? That's what's happened in this country over centuries and centuries of time, okay? So we are now learning that we can reclaim our power, come into who we truly are, and overcome any of that systemic crap that they've inflicted upon us. The system is continuing to do what it's always done. The system was never designed for us. It never supported us, and it was never for our benefit. So why are you upset now that all of these things are still the same, right? Stop participating. If you want to do something about it, well, then do something about it. Stop participating in America. Stop participating in a system that was not designed for your success. What we need to do as a culture, as a people, is to unify. We need to come together in all of our majesty and all of our radiance and all of our light and all of our power. We need to come together and put our forces together. Support one another. You see in a lot of Hispanic cultures, they keep their business in the family. They look out for one another. What's wrong with us melanated individuals that can't do that? Us Americans, we can't be happy. I lived in Las Vegas for 5 years, and I can't smile or wave at another melanated female without her looking at me crazy, or like, what do I want from her? And it's like, I want to share some light with you. I want to greet you and recognize you for the goddess that I know you are. I don't mean to go on tangents, but my whole purpose in saying all of this is that we have been intentionally divided as a culture. Now that we're aware of the issue, we have the ability to do something about it. So what I have been doing personally, and you know, the only way to change the world is to change yourself, right? So I would like to welcome you all to do this alongside with me. Okay, support Black businesses. Support individuals who are taking control of their life and going for their own personal dreams instead of just following suit and working hard to make someone else's dreams happen. We right now, where our galaxy is in space, is a different place than it's ever been. We're always constantly in motion, full of new energy, full of transition, full of change. If this last year didn't show you that anything is possible, nothing is permanent, everything can be taken from you in a moment. Take a moment and just look at what's going on in Texas. Okay, a lot of people are losing their homes due to the pipes bursting and the winter storm. Okay, if you take control of your life, if you go, you find out what your divine purpose is and you go for it every single day, life is worth living at that point. But if you're unhappy, you're working for someone else, you're clocking in, clocking out, and you are just settling with the mundaneness of the matrix life, is that really living? What is your divine purpose? Really ask yourself, what am I here to do? What is something that I love doing? I could do it all day and you didn't even have to pay me for it. What is that thing? What is that thing that drives you? What is that thing that makes you happy to the core of yourself? What is it that your higher self wants? Ask these questions. Really, look at yourself in the mirror and be honest with yourself and ask yourself, what is it that I can do to make history tomorrow? Okay. I want to shout out a few, I'm going to list them, a few Black-owned businesses that I love and support wholeheartedly. I would love for you to check them out. Absolutely follow them on social media. I'm going to put up their information at the end of this video. And I really want to challenge you individuals. And this isn't just for people that are melanated. This is for everyone. What is your divine purpose? What are you on this planet to do? And are you currently following that divine purpose? Or are you giving yourself excuses? Oh, well, I got to do this and this and this first before I can do this. No. If you know what it is, you're doing yourself a disservice if you're not chasing it every day. All right. So I just wanted you to know that you have power. You are magnificent. And anything in this life that you wish can be yours. All right. Asè and Namaste.
Searching for a journey and so come down to the shore. A ride was waiting patiently, but when stress was found no more, I said, well, tell that ship to wait, so I can sail away to some remote location, destination high vibrations. I got a couple dollars but no ticket. I hope it ain't that damn expensive. But what the hell, cause I'm out of here. No current plans to reappear. Oh, I said I hope that I don't miss it. Miss it. My bags are packed, and I'm so anxious to drift off and turn this vessel into a spaceship. Where to everyone we look like silver hazes, and they don't mind if we get just this faded. Will take me to that special place and let my mind just drift away to somewhere further that I can't explain. You better come aboard this very day. I wanna